Well, it's that time again, folks. It's my favorite forecast to present each and every year, and I'm so honored to do this. This is a News Channel 9 long-standing tradition that goes all the way back to the mid-'70s. I've been doing this for the past 18 years, and again, I enjoy doing the research. I enjoy the challenge of the season ahead. And let's go ahead and take a look at it. If you look at the past 5 winters, they've all had one trait in common. They've all been very, very mild, all in the plus category, whether we had an El Nino or a La Nina, and well, not much snow. All were under the average snowfall total for the year. Even last year, there were some areas north of the city that got quite a bit of snow, but in the city, where we take the official reading, it once again was below average. So if you look at last year's winter forecast, overall, I was pretty pleased with it. We projected above average temperatures, and we got that. We were just about 2 degrees above average. Projected average rainfall, we were just above average by about a half inch or so, so that worked out well. The snowfall category, well, in Chattanooga, we ended up 1.5 inches below average. But in some areas locally, we got the trifecta, because areas north of the city, if you go from Dayton, Spring City, Dunlap, Pikeville, you areas got 6 to 8 inches worth of snow back in mid-January. You had double the average amount. So in these areas, the snowfall forecast worked out very well. It was an El Nino year, which typically has better snowfall amounts, but for the city and south, didn't quite pan out. Almost had the trifecta area-wide. Well, this year, instead of an El Nino, we have the opposite. It is a La Nina. So instead of having the warmer waters of the eastern Pacific, the trade winds push it farther along, and then you get the upwelling of the eastern Pacific, and get cooler than average waters. And you may be wondering, well, how does that affect us? Well, it affects the global weather patterns. Now, in a typical La Nina, and the key word there is typical, it could mean wet weather for us, warm and dry conditions to the south. That is a typical La Nina. This year is projected to be a weak La Nina. So I did a deep dive in the past 5 weak La Ninas that we've had. They go all the way back to the year 2000, and they've all had some very strong similarities. Let's start with temperatures. If you take a look at all this composite of all the temperatures of the past 5 weak La Nina events, look at the eastern half of the country, including us. Temperatures have trended well above average, the colder air off to the north and west. With precipitation, been a little bit either direction. For us, we average near average and drier to the south, but at least our rainfall chances are there. And coming off a drought, we need the rainfall. So we're hoping to get at least that average amount. Now, as far as snowfall in these past 5 weak La Nina events, if you're a snow lover, you might just want to look away. The past 5 weak La Ninas have not produced much snow at all over those past 5 events. In fact, all of those under 1 inch, well below the average annual total of 3.6 inches. Now, I got to keep in mind that even if you look at past seasons, no 2 winters are alike. There's a first time for everything. So you got to keep in mind, expect the unexpected, and the weather's going to do what it wants to. Also keep in mind, if the projections are there for above average temperatures, it doesn't mean it won't be cold. In fact, go back to last winter. It was an above average winter. Was it warm every day? No. By January, it was downright cold. So I have to keep an eye on the in-season factors of the Arctic oscillation and the polar vortex bringing down colder air at times during the season. Some of the models are projecting a wetter second half of the winter season, which could carry over into March. We'll keep an eye on that. Also, with La Nina, it could increase severe storm threats, and that could be a factor also for late winter and early spring. So these 2 factors keep a close eye on, aside from the cold temperatures and the chance for any snowfall. Now, the official NOAA forecast that came out in October has trended very close to the composite of the last 5 weak La Ninas, that being very warm temperatures for us and most of the east, that cold air bottle up to the north and west. They're trending a little more in the drier range for us, especially south of the city, but near average for us locally. I'm going to trend more toward the near average because some of those past 5 weak La Ninas have yielded rain while others have been very dry. So hopefully we'll get right in between and at least get that average rainfall. So here in a nutshell is what I'm going for. I think the rainfall is going to be near average. And again, we need that to get out of the drought. We'll take above average, we can get it. I think temperatures again will go with the way the past 5 La Ninas have gone, above average locally. And for snowfall, we're going to trim below average. But as I say each and every year, I like snow. If it surprises us, goes above average, I'm okay with that. And in case you're wondering, the average chance for snowfall on Christmas Day, average annually, is 18% locally. It's low, but it's better than 0. But folks, no matter what happens all season long, we're here for you every step of the way, and we'll keep you posted as we do each and every year.